Okay, as everybody can see, I have successfully broken out of prison with the Ursa. I am currently moving it to the location of my friend so that he may pick me up, and we're going to take this stolen Ursa and keep it. On top of that, we're going to be moving on to eliminate my crime stat utilizing the only functioning way at the moment how, and there are approximately, I believe, 4 stations you can go to, one of which is in space, 3 of which sit on the planet proper. So since they sit on the planet, they're actually considered less ideal. Now, the reason why is because they are actually patrolled by NPCs that are with the government itself. So if you were to go and eliminate your crime stat, you're going to rack up more crimes along the way. Whereas the one that's in space is actually normally only patrolled by NPCs that you would be killing anyways, meaning you're not going to garner a crime stat by taking them out. So you're not likely to get a crime stat while you're there. However, the major problem everybody seems to always experience is bounty hunters. And unfortunately, bounty hunters are fairly unavoidable. More often than not, it's a player, which means that the moment they've taken on your bounty, depending on your crime stat level, is the moment you're likely to end up just dead. At the end of the day, realistically, your best option truly is to just earn your way out of jail. Now, if you do happen to do this, though, having a friend or two along for the ride who can assist you in getting to the location to lower your crime stat can help you out. You can have them watch your back and make sure that no bounty hunters come after you, and if they have a fairly powerful ship or even a large enough ship, most bounty hunters will be deterred from attacking you. Now, something that's common that you're going to have to realize is that unfortunately, the Ursa is a very problematic vehicle on this planet due to the fact that it has a very low ride base. Going over rocks is fairly difficult, so you have to avoid them. On top of that, there's another issue. The low gravity means that if you hit a jump or hit a rock too hard, you can flip the Ursa and lose it. Meaning you're going to lose your only opportunity for safe travel because it's eliminated your safety for climate, and it's eliminated a free oxygen supply that is apparently endless because from what I can see, even though this vehicle is fairly small and should not be able to provide me the amount of oxygen I have an unlimited supply of oxygen. I'm not likely to die anytime soon. Now, I'm doing this in what looks like dawn. I believe the sun is coming up. As you can see, my friend is approximately 3,000 meters away, and from here, we're going to load up onto a ship, keep the Ursa along, and we're going to make our way to... What's that station called? No, the station to eliminate your crime stat. I know it starts with a K. I'm not going to care too much about the name. I just know it's a mission you can, if you do the mission that's involved there by taking out the NPCs, it's generally 21,000 credits is your net earnings, so a pretty hefty amount for new players coming in. And we do have to head to Grimhex first. Thankfully, since it is an outlaw location, and even though it has an armistice, nobody can take us out while we're there. So I can collect the tools that I need on top of any weapons and armor, and turn around and head towards the one location that is not safe in this entire travel, well, relatively safe in this entire travel, that should hopefully get rid of my crime stat. So long as everything is functioning correctly. As with my last video, I explained a couple of bugs that come along the way with escaping from the prison. I'm going to explain a couple of bugs that can come along the way with getting your crime stat reduced. One of which is, just like in the last video, you don't have the rover, which means that your friend would have to risk his life, get close, and unfortunately, if you don't have a powerful enough ship, he's probably going to die, meaning you've lost him and you've lost yourself.
Just so you know, I'm in the valley, so I'm not on top of anything.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm about 1,800 meters from you. But
It looks like you want to go to your left. There's like a valley.
oh, because it has a divot into the valley?
Yeah.
Okay. But another small common issue is that Grimhex, this isn't really a bug, but it's a failure on the design part. And I would say the failure on the design part is the fact that they do not have a large supply of hacking tools or any of those encryption tools, or really anything at all. They have a very low supply of ammunition, they have a very low supply of armor and weaponry. I think that's because it's persistent across every single server, which is, I would view, a major issue due to the fact that if I need a weapon, or I need ammunition, or God forbid I need these hacking tools, you generally want to have more than one, because on the off chance you don't do the hacking properly, or you accidentally throw away a tool, something I did before when I did this for fun, you want to make sure you have extras. That way, on the off chance that you need it, you're not out of luck. Now, mind you, so long as your friend who is picking you up, like my friend here, has not entered the boundary of the prison itself, he should not have accrued a crime stat. Now, picking you up, that's another story. It is entirely possible by that point that they will have gotten a crime stat. More likely because you are in their ship and you are a criminal. Therefore, it's kind of like in the real world terms of the law, he is aiding and abetting a criminal, especially a criminal who just escaped a prison. Now, what I don't understand, and this is something that's going to be a common issue in this, is the fact that the NPCs did not shoot at me when I left the station. Generally speaking, when you leave the station in the Ursa, this is something to look out for. You do want to be careful because they will fire at you. They don't discriminate by the fact that you're in one of their Ursas. They do not care. You are a prisoner, or, well, technically you're a wanted bounty, and they are the enforcers of the prison. And holy crap, that was very close. Just cleared it. So be careful with the terrain. The terrain is very hilly, so you can end up coming up with a lot of problems along the way where, you flip, you die. That would suck. But in the meantime, we're just gonna, me and him are gonna have a small little conversation in the background until we get to the point where I can actually demonstrate to you the portion of this video where we actually get rid of the crime stat. As you can see, we've just arrived at Crimestat, so the first thing that we're going to do is, upon arrival, once we enter the armistice zone, thankfully we won't be able to get attacked by any bounty hunters, which is, your greatest concern when you approach a place like this. This is a place where outlaws and a lot of bounty hunters will stay, because a lot of bounties like to come here, particularly because it is the safest location for a person who has a bounty to get the hacking equipment. In fact, I think it's the only place that a person with a bounty can get the hacking equipment. So, the moment we have the opportunity to get inside of the base, this little station here is going to be great for us, because it's going to offer us all the availability of safety. And who's calling me?
So that's me.
Oh.
Cancel.
But once you're inside, generally the first thing you want to do is you want to focus on two different objectives. One, getting the hacking equipment, because 100% you're going to need it, no matter what. There's no avoiding it. You need this. If you want to have any chance of getting rid of your crime stat and going back to a life where you're not going to get constantly hunted down, sadly, sorry to say this, guys, can't keep your crime stat. You got to get rid of it. Now, if you want to keep it, you want to be that outlaw, by all means, more power to you. Problem ends up being, though, is that a lot of people will take those bounties and they will come after you, because it's free money, essentially. And realistically, the only way they need to get the money is by killing you once. That's it. And every time you go to escape and further do this again, you're just going to add new bounties for somebody to take. So getting rid of it on your first chance that you get is your best option. The second objective for the day is to get weapons. You need weapons on the off chance that you get assaulted at one of these stations, because people will come after you, and they're likely to attack you there because you're going to be fairly vulnerable while you're going through the entire selective process of making sure that you can get rid of your bounty and your crime stat. People will get warned by it. It turns into a mission to stop that from happening, so they will come after you in order to make sure you don't succeed. Especially since the payout's pretty good. So your first concern is protection. Second concern, which is I would say almost on the same level of the first is the hacking equipment. But realistically, that's not much that you have to worry about. Roughly around the time or the money that you'd be spending, by this point you should have a little bit of money in your bank before you end up going after those big, heavy, illegal deals. So at this current point in time, I have 682,207 credits. Your average loadout for good armor and good weapons, semi-decent depending on what you feel like, probably runs you about 25,000. That's because armor is fairly expensive, especially if you want the good stuff. You could make do with pretty much what you have right now, but I really wouldn't recommend it. Other than that, you're probably going to spend a good anywhere from, I think it's like $200 to $1,600 on hacking equipment. Now, the $1,600 hacking equipment is not located on this station. It's actually located on another station, and you can only go there when you're not a criminal, due to the fact that, well, it is a regular station, the police will kill you. So trying to safely land there is going to be damn near impossible. Your primary option is to come here, where you're going to get almost every other possible hacking equipment is available. Meaning, you have choice and availability. The problem is how many of them is going to be available, since it's persistent across servers. So, generally speaking, if you can't get multiple of one, you want to get multiple different options. Now, you want to get the most expensive options you have available at the time because they are your better options. Of course, that's only because of two reasons. One, the more expensive it is, generally, the more reliable it is, the less interactive options you need to have, and the faster it will actually hack. The weaker options are generally, well, they're not as they don't do as much. They don't hack fast. You have a lot of interactive options, so you have to consistently fix it, course correct it. Which, there's a major problem with that, because you get about 90 seconds to complete those course corrections. And if you don't complete them, well, you've just lost that hacking tool, and now you have to use another one. So, the moment we get inside this elevator, first thing we're going to do, head to lobby. As per usual, with anybody who's ever been on Grim Hacks, you're probably going to end up waiting an hour in a day for this thing to move. And the moment you're here, this is disheartening because there's a man right here who's probably going to end up chasing us down. Your next option is to go after this, call this elevator, head straight down. Once it gets here, main course, well, main concourse. Ignore graphical glitches. There are a few. Turn right. Head immediately to your left. And down this hallway. We're going to turn left and down these stairs. Now, the first door on your right is the location in which you are going to buy your hack tools. So here in front of us is all the available hack tools. We have the Reauthorizer, the Tiger Claw, the Walesko, again another Reauthorizer, the Ripper, which is by far in this location the best option you're going to get, and just a repeat of virtually every single one of these. Now, mind you, there is a limited quantity of every single one of these. You want to try and get as many as you can get. It's just whether or not there's going to be a few of them is entirely up to the persistence of the server. So if you see I come in here, I already bought one, and I cannot buy another. There's insufficient stock, so I'm going to go ahead and settle on the Tiger Claw as my second option. So now I have two available. So if we simply continue along, we're going to move from here back up the stairwell, where we are going to immediately head upstairs to these doors. These doors will lead to the secondary section of the station, and immediately on our right is the weapons and armor location, where we will be getting our armor and weapons. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to head in here. I have a very particular love for a certain type of armor and weaponry. So I will guaranteed always buy these weapons and armor. Because I like to be I like to dress in a way to where I am wearing essentially the same thing my allies are wearing. So there's no discrepancy. We're not likely to shoot at each other in the event that we're doing a mission and our name tags aren't immediately over the location we're at. And I just went through all of this without actually buying half of it. And that's actually a common thing with the do you actually want to buy this confirm option, and it is because you are spending quite a bit of money. So, did I actually buy this? Well, I'm going to buy it again, just in case. Now we're going to go to weapons. Now, your weapon options are, quite a bit here, actually. It's, you get a decent amount of options here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy the Custodian. Oh, Jesus. I'm going to buy a good 4 mags for it. And I am going to buy, where is it? Where is the silencer? Which there's 2 different suppressors here. I'm going to buy one of each because you never know which option you actually will need. The weapon will tell you more often than not, but I like to buy extra equipment just in case. And let's see, optics, underbarrel, and barrel is all S1, so size 1. So we immediately go into our location for our equipment. We're going to equip all the armor options we have available. So, oh, I seem to have all of my stuff back. That's actually kind of cool. I didn't expect that. So, we're going to equip the Custodian. Well, not all of my stuff, most of it actually. Okay. Barrel attachment. Underbarrel attachment. Okay, placeholder, whatever. I got my sidearm. Now, always equip your extra mags if you have it available. Because you're going to... Oh Lord. I forgot I did that. Just keep scrolling through, making sure you have all of the mags that you need in order to ensure that you don't run into a situation where you're not actually able to use your weapons safely. So if I go ahead and hit F4, I should have my weapons equipped, including, I believe, a gun I stole off of an enemy back on another base. And from here, the next option is to actually head to the base. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what I just did. I'm going to cut from here. We're going to reconvene on the actual station, and I will go through how you were supposed to get rid of your Crimestat. So we're now here at the bow post. We're currently being shot at, which is actually kind of a pretty systematically normal thing for me now. This man seems to want my bounty and is desperate to get it. So he's going to try and murder my friend, which does not make me happy. So I'm going to go inside and hopefully, avoiding fire along the way, not get shot. Because, yeah, I don't want to die. And Dum Dum over there will soon find out I am not in that ship. Meaning...
You'll get a Crimestat.
Yeah, he's going to get a Crimestat. Which is good for me because now he's going to be a criminal. Dum Dum. And I will be safe. So we're going to go ahead and cycle.
I think I can kill him without getting a Crimestat because he attacked us first. Let's see. Or do I already have one?
Oh. Ooh. I would be careful though. I don't want you to gain another Crimestat.
That's all good.
Utility, we're going to do... Utility item is going to be the Ripper. We're going to make sure that I have my metapens. Alright, cool. Alright, now we have to go into this... Did you blow him up?
No, he blew me up.
He blew you up. Are you alright?
Well, no, I'm dead, but that's fine. Just I'm gonna be like, guess you have a crime stat now, eh?
I don't think there's any AI in here, which is good for me, because, you know, that would be problematic. 4.
Just watch your back.
No! Shit. What the hell? Okay. That was bound to happen. It's always going to happen at least once. Somebody's going to make a mistake. Now I simply have to watch my own back as this establishes a connection and it will take some time. So if I simply keep moving, guaranteeing to look around all the time, check each doorway and such, while also maintaining a close proximity to the device, because there is always the possibility that what will end up happening is it will ask me to if I want to continue, which is your 90-second countdown to determine whether or not you're actually going to be able to continue this. So that 90-second countdown right here, see? If you don't hit continue, what end up happening is that you've just wasted your hack tool. It'll go away if you don't do that. So now you have to go and get and use another one, which, I mean, that's just a waste. It's already going to be used up when you're primarily using it. So why would you want to go ahead and ruin your chances? Always keep an eye up top. You never know.
I'm gonna take my fighter over to you.
Okay. I'm going to attempt to be as careful as I can be.
Keep an eye on that thing because it will jam.
Yeah, I'm trying to do all of that at the same time that I'm trying to kill this guy. Mind you, I used an SMG on him, which is not the most... Keep in mind, everybody has a preference for weapons. However, sometimes certain weapons are not exactly the most effective for the situation you're in. This particular weapon is close quarters, so it is kind of good. However, it is not the best weapon to be used in a situation in which you have to shoot some distance. Yes, if I were to round a corner and light him up, it would have been fine. However, I'm not exactly in that situation. I'm more of a defensible position, where you would more want a carbine or long-range rifle, shotgun for up-close encounters, and generally a pistol for that last-ditch effort if you've used everything up. Thankfully, in this situation, it doesn't seem as though this man wants to press his luck, which is good for me, because it's going to avoid having me die immediately. Now, if I were to get shot from another location, I would be able to have some time to react, and by constantly moving, it creates a harder target for the other person to attack you. So, we're getting pretty close to the end of this duration for this countdown, which is good for me. There are a multitude of different options available. There's pleading mental insanity, diplomatic immunity, and quite a few others that I actually haven't ever seen before. Mostly because this will be the first time I have gone to get my crime stat reduced. Mostly because it's the first time I've ever had a crime stat. But I'm trying to make this guide to give everybody who's ever been in a situation like I have, the first time doing this, an opportunity to find out what it's like to experience it for the first time, and to see what options you have available. So it's going to log us in. We're going to be like dismiss, and then it's going to be like medical release, humanitarian, imperial pardon. I'm going to go imperial pardon. And then it's going to process the request, which is going to take a little bit of time. Also, another little thing there, there's two sections of time waiting. One for the crypto key to access, two for it to actually log the action you want to take. So the percentage can go by fairly quickly. I don't believe this actually has a confirmation selection, but I do know for a fact that when you're using the crypto tool, your hacking tool, that depending on which one you have, there will be more or less requests for authentication. Do you wish to continue? So keep in mind, money does talk in this situation. If you use more money to buy better equipment, generally speaking, you're better off. We're at about 27%, which is good. Still keeping on the move, making sure, don't want to let our guard down before the situation is in hand. Because this man is still in here. I know he is. I think he's just waiting for me to try and run out of this room so he can either run in, cancel the objective, or he's waiting for me to let my guard down so he can take me out.
Or he's waiting for you to look at the screen.
Yeah, look at the screen. Well, I've already done that once or twice, but I was moving while I did it, so he might think that I'm just constantly looking around. It's one of those situations where you have to be very careful with bounty hunters. These people, they're looking for a quick buck, and the easiest form of a quick buck is just to kill somebody, especially somebody that has money on their head. But if you get rid of this, he turns into a criminal, because the moment he attacks you, when you no longer have a crime stat, he automatically gains one himself, and he becomes a criminal. So they have to be careful, because on the off chance that I've already completed this, and he attacks me, now he's a criminal, and he's going to get hunted down. Or I have all the rights to defend myself, and I will not become a criminal. It's actually quite interesting. The entire crime stat thing is a very interesting, it's just a very interesting feature. Crimestat Independent 1 and 2, Crimestat level 1 and 2 will not garner you a bounty. However, 3 through 5 will. You need to be careful because the higher the crime stat, the max being 5, the more money you have on your head. So I think generally speaking, crime stat 5 can have anywhere from 20 to 25,000 on it. And sequentially, I think it's like 15 and 10,000 for 4 and 3 respectively.
That guy's ship's still red, so I'm gonna blow it up.
Yeah, you can. He attacked you. At this point, he has a crime stat. I don't understand why he's still continuing. He knows he can't maintain the bounty now that he's attacked somebody who was not a criminal. And if it's red, that means it's already marked up as enemy, so you should not gain a crime stat. We're at 97, 98%, and 99, and now we can just log out because we no longer have a crime stat. So if I check here, I have no crime stat. Now I'm sitting pretty. I'm nice and free. Anyways, this was a nice little fun guide for me to do for you guys. I'm glad y'all are here if you're watching. If not, well, why would I say anything, right? Other than that, if you found some use out of this, good for you. If not, maybe it was informative in some way for the future when you do have this game. See y'all around.